Hello and welcome. 5 p.m. So Gargi and I in our new studio. So we thought, 2 hours later, the IPL will start. She was the one who had actually covered that very unfortunate celebration which got transformed into a stampede some hours later. How traumatic was it? How emotional was it? What is it for cricket fans locally? And Bharat is covering that for us. For cricket to be able to come back to the Chinnaswamy. So we'll take a look at all of that because look, whatever happens, however much we see cricket, we cannot forget the 11. If I ask you to sort of go back, I remember I was not in India, I was in Portsmouth and I was seeing your messages because I was worried for you.
Yeah.
I was worried for you and for Bharat. And you all said you all almost literally got sort of, getting crushed.
I was there.
And Bharat said he jumps over something. You got literally
No,
stopped.
that was me.
You jumped over something.
Yeah.
And my only instruction to both of you was get out of there. I mean, just don't try anything. When you look back and you are now seeing games coming back, what is your first thoughts?
This will mean a lot to the fans. After everything that happened, first it was such a moment of celebration, then it turns into a moment of tragedy. And this was a tragedy that you can't reel back from. I think we all still feel the pain.
Yeah.
We all still feel the losses. A fan is the last person who should ever get affected when it comes to sport. They are the ones who make cricket what it is. They are the ones who have made RCB, the IPL, and any other sport in the world what it is now. They are the basis, they are the foundation of everything. So if anything unfortunate ever happens, I always feel like the fan should be the last one to get impacted by something like that. But unfortunately at this point, fans were the first point of infliction of whatever happened, the mismanagement, whatever you want to call it. They were the ones to get hurt the first time around. And if I look back on that entire experience, it still remains as a very, not a turning point, but something that I will never forget in my life. Because I remember, because my hotel was only a 5-minute walk from the stadium, so I had left late deliberately because I had to charge my equipment and all of that. And I remember going out and thinking, this is a lot of people. This is a lot of people for everyone's safety. And at that point, we were constantly having these conversations with the police, with anyone involved in the PR of that entire event. And we didn't know what was happening. Was there going to be a bus parade? Was there going to be a celebration? We knew that there were multiple tweets that were put out by the police, by the management as well. There was a lot of back and forth. So everyone's confused, right? Are there tickets being sold? That was one of the biggest places where things went wrong because everyone thought there were tickets. And only 2 gates were open. So you can understand how much crowd had suddenly started pouring in. And with the barricades, I got stuck. And at that point, when I got stuck in the crowd, I remember every one of us, all of the people from the office started sending me articles, reports that people had died. And at that point, I'm looking at my surrounding, I'm looking at the report and I'm thinking, I'm in big trouble right now. And I remember you trying to call me, Trisha trying to call me, all of our back-end people and saying, just get out, we don't care about the live show, we don't care about anything at this point, don't care about the visuals, just get to a safe place. And I remember thinking, there's no way. It's too late to get to a safe place now. And I just thought, let's wait it out. Let's wait it out, let the bus pass and then eventually, people will start to spread out. But no, it just kept getting more congested. And there were a few, guys next to me who were trying to also help me out, and because they knew I was from the media, and they said, just jump over. But at that point, the bus had started coming in. So I couldn't even jump over because that space was allowed for the media to go in. Others weren't allowed, so they were like, at least you'll be safe there. So I eventually ended up making that jump, which is when the police opened up everything. And, people finally had space to breathe. The most that I remember from this entire event is the aftermath. Going inside, one end I am hearing fireworks, one end I am hearing ambulance sirens.
Oh.
There is such a dystopian place to be in. And people are still being wheeled out. They're still being put on a stretcher and being put into ambulances and going out. So that's such a dystopian place to be in. But from that to then a year of fans waiting for games to come back to Chinnaswamy, because obviously after something like that happens, you want things to get better, not worse.
course.
You don't want to deprive fans of the experience.
I remember that walkthrough that you had done, and I remember that chappal, and it kind of
Many
stayed with
chappals.
me. And I mean, I remember that
Yeah.
you had sent those photographs to me, and I couldn't digest, because 11 fans. There was a 14-year-old. I have a 12-year-old daughter, and I was thinking, I mean, if any one of us could have been there. You are as much family to me, Bharat. And I was like, what on earth? And from there on, how do you kind of look at, when someone told me the other day that BCCI has cancelled the opening ceremony, I'm like, good call.
Yes.
Because you don't want I want games to go back. Because it's also about people's livelihood, about a city,
Correct.
about a city's identity, about the ecosystem. But I don't want Bollywood dancers and people to come there and do something which is it's not part of the whole. They are not cricket. You can avoid the entertainment. You have to make it solemn. So credit to the BCCI, as far as I'm concerned, for cancelling out the opening ceremony. Number two, at a time when the war is impacted, everyone's lives, I don't think an opening ceremony is necessary.
Correct.
Number two, what about this plaque that they're making with the names, and 11 seats that the BCCI has said, or the associations have said, that they will keep reserved for these people. I think however many games we see there or cover there, these 11 people must be remembered each time, because they are us.
Yes.
We went to watch cricket, we didn't come back.
Yeah.
My question to you is, how do you see this gesture of keeping the 11 seats separated? And secondly, if I send you to the Chinnaswamy, will you go? And if you do go, what will it be like?
You know what? A lot of people have asked me this. And I always say I'm afraid now. I'm afraid because the place hasn't changed, right? And it's still the small barricades, the small lanes. I know all the gates will be open now. And I have covered games there before that as well. I've done the IPL closing as well. Was it the opening or the closing? One of the very important opening, I think, WPL opening. And it was never a problem. With Chepauk or Chinnaswamy or Eden Gardens, the management is going to be brilliant when it comes to people outside. But now I'm afraid. I'm afraid.
So do you want to go back for the final?
I will. I want to change my memory.
Okay, so we'll send Gargi
Yes.
for the final. Done. But you should. Because that shouldn't cloud, the trauma shouldn't make you.
Correct.
You have to also move. You cannot escape that trauma, because I didn't see it, you did. So these kind of memories, it's impossible to get out of it, because you're human, you're a sensitive person. But how do you look at the board's gesture to reserve these seats? Do you reckon this is what sport is? It's just not about runs and wickets.
No.
It's about sensitivity. It's about the larger story, the city's identity. Bengaluru is coming together today in 2 hours' time. They are on show. It's not just the police, not the KSCA, not the BCCI. Everyone who goes there, the fan, they are as much responsible of putting up a show for their city.
This is what cricket is about, right? This is what sport is about uniting fans, about uniting culture and people and emotions. And it's finally happening after what had happened. And if you think about the entire ecosystem as well, Virat Kohli played in those Ranji Trophy games, 2 games that happened closed doors at the Center of Excellence. Imagine how much the ecosystem missed out on. Think of what happened back in Delhi. The fans got to watch Virat Kohli in a Ranji Trophy game after years.
What will it mean for the players?
Exactly, it will mean so much for the players, especially RCB players, and after all the flack that they got for everything that happened, coming back to that stadium and finally getting to play in their home, rightly their home, not a Pune, not any other ground in the world, because that was also a conversation, and I'm sure that's uncomfortable for the players and the franchise.
Raipur, Pune,
they have a home ground. They're so comfortable. They know it like the back of their hands, and suddenly you're saying no, you're going to play in another city. So that is wrong.
It would have been a regular reminder of what went wrong.
Exactly. But now with the gesture that has been made, those 11 seats, that plaque, I think it's a lovely gesture. It's again a reminder. If the fans are not at the forefront of your mind, then you're doing something wrong. Then you don't belong in sport. It's as simple as that for me. If you're someone who owns a franchise, are a part of franchise, are a part of sport. Fans are what makes sport sport. That's it.
Some important points there, and when I think back, for Venkatesh Prasad, as president, to be able to bring cricket back,
Oh, yeah.
for Anil Kumble, part of that same gang, it will mean the world.
Yes.
At the same time, Shubhan was telling me that there is a debate going on where some politicians are saying, "Oh, I need 4 tickets and I have to be given." I haven't read much, but this kind of entitlement, I think, should be kicked in the gut.
100%. I am completely behind you on that one, and I know what you are referring to. There was this some MLA or someone who said that
Yeah, that's what I was
we
told.
can't stand in line, so we need
That's
VIP
the correct
tickets, which is entitlement. Then what differentiates
You're a public
you from
servant, damn it.
from a normal fan?
No, you are a public. You have come to where you are on my vote.
That's what I'm saying. And if the fan is not paying for your tickets, if they are not spending as much money as they are on these things, then how is it, then where will you be? You've seen other sports. The fans are not there. You've seen a hockey in India. They're not there. The fans, there is of course a good
Some
chunk.
places, yeah, some
good
parts of the
some-
country.
Some parts, but those sports are largely different when we talk about the economics, when we talk about commerce of the sport, largely different from cricket. They've not been able to make the same success. They've not been able to make the same kind of money. That's because of the fans. If you're not respecting your fans in basic things, basic amenities, tickets, washrooms, cleanliness, food, then what is the point? Come on.
You and I will come back with Bharat and people in half an hour. I mean, a little later. But just for the last 10 minutes of this particular show, if I kind of focus only on when we come back at 6 p.m. and do our build-up show between 6 and 7, we'll do the toss. Is it a 7 o'clock start? 7:30 start? We'll see.
No openings to 7 o'clock.
Yeah, so we'll see. Whatever time we'll do a 1 hour build-up. Don't
Yeah.
worry. We'll come back and do that 1 hour build-up. But last 10 minutes of this one, if I ask you to look at RCB,
7:30 start.
7:30 start, so we'll do at 6:30. We'll do 6:30 to 7:20 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in about an hour from now, we'll be back because we'll have all our reporters. It will be our build-up show. Bharat at the ground. We're going to play all the build-up visuals because he sent us loads of that. So you will see all of that stuff. We've got Venkatesh Prasad who came to our conclave, what it means to him. There's plenty to talk about there. But just to focus on that RCB team, Virat Kohli is not playing international cricket in 2 formats.
Yeah.
He's only playing the 50 overs. For him, this particular tournament is now the cricket that he plays. He will play only 9 ODIs in the next 1 year. So these 2 months are defining for a Virat Kohli for his World Cup 27 ambitions.
Correct. And I was just about to say, when I think of Virat Kohli now, all I see is the 2027 World Cup. That's all I see when I hear the name, when I read the name, when the name Virat Kohli is mentioned. So we all know what the target is. We all know what the ambition is, what the dedication is for these two, Rohit as well. But those 9 ODI games, not enough. Ahead of a 2027, ahead of a World Cup that's 1 year away.
Next year there will be some more, but for this year, these 9. Yeah.
Correct. But at the same time, this is the time for Virat Kohli to get back into rhythm. Not that he's out of it. He's had a brilliant series, some brilliant white ball games that he's played in the last 6 months. But at the same time...
Bengaluru will embrace him, you reckon?
Of course. What do you mean? He's Virat Kohli. Any city in this world will embrace Virat Kohli.
Got a lot of flack.
I know he did, but
for him,
I think that was more the internet.
Okay.
I don't think it's Bangalore. I think it's the internet. And
so when he steps there, he will have overwhelming support.
Yes,
The son of the soil
100%.
is back.
100%. That's what Bangalore is known for. I've seen this Bangalore crowd give love to so many people. Just like Gautam Gambhir in our conclave said that Kolkata made me who I am. That's what I think. That it's the same for Virat Kohli as well.
How do you see the team? Because the team, let me ask you a tough one.
Yeah.
You're a young person. When I see the call, and I this is my personal opinion, I think they have not asked Yash Dayal to join the team because they reckon they cannot afford another controversy.
Yeah.
They have not released him. Cricket sense says they should have released Yash Dayal because then they could have got a replacement player.
Correct.
They have not. What that tells me is they are showing spine. They are saying we are backing our player. Yes, we want a little bit of breather because at this point we are coming back after a 1 year hiatus, controversy, trauma, all of that. So we don't want Yash Dayal's controversy to also come forward or impact our start. At the same time, we are not disowning the player because these are still allegations and nothing has been proved.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on this?
See, I think it's simple.
And I ask you
it's
because
not
you're a woman.
black. It's not black and white. It can never be black and white, especially when there's no verdict yet. And we all say innocent until proven guilty. But at the same time, you have to take these allegations very seriously.
Of course.
Very seriously, because these are public figures. And when you put a Yash Dayal out there on the field, what message are you sending as a franchise? I think that's something that they will be thinking of. It's something that they have very well thought of from what we've seen so far, and it's understandable. IPL is a business. RCB of all franchisees have to be very careful about how they portray themselves right now. And I think they're doing a good job at this moment. You've summed it up perfectly, that them not giving him the stage reflects that they are taking these allegations seriously, but at the same time, not releasing him from the squad gives you that balance of that if there is a sliver of faith that they have given it.
Cricketing wise, number 3, is it Venkatesh Iyer or Jacob Bethel?
Ooh.
Because Salt and Kohli.
Yeah.
Then that critical call. Venkatesh Iyer back with with Bengaluru.
Yes.
And we have seen for Kolkata he's done well at the top of the order. He can't open here. But is it Venkatesh Iyer or Jacob Bethel who was what he was?
Purely by rhythm, I would put in Jacob Bethel. Because of the rhythm that he's in. And franchise cricket and T20 cricket in itself is a format where it's more about form. It's more about the rhythm that you're in. If you're not able to pick up a player and put him in the team when they're at their...
You're an RCB fan, isn't it?
No.
Trisha is.
But
you were also,
somewhat. But I'm
what's
not
your
a
team?
die-hard...
No team.
Team. I'm not a die-hard fan of any of these franchises. But at the same time, Jacob Bethel, the point that I was making was if you're not able to make use of a player who's at their peak when it comes to T20 cricket and it dies down, then it's a bit of a trouble. So in franchise cricket, you need to make sure that Jacob Bethel comes in.
Good point.
At number 3.
Good point. I agree with this. I think Jacob Bethel has to be given maximum opportunity to do what he did. He can unleash damage. He was carnage against India in that World Cup semi-final. The way he played Varun Chakravarti, for example, boom, boom, boom. I mean, that Wankhede match, he was sensational. Where I think Bengaluru has problems. And again, at 6:30 when we come back for our build-up, we will do the toss and team and do more on this. I think where Bengaluru has a problem is the bowling.
Yeah.
No Josh Hazelwood, at least at the start of the tournament. No Josh Hazelwood, no Yash Dayal. He's flown in but not playing.
Yeah.
He's not his final rehab, much like Pat Cummins, will be done in India. So no Josh Hazelwood, no Nuwan Thusara. Nuwan Thusara has also failed the fitness test. And no Yash Dayal. So clearly it will be a toss-up. So who are the 4 foreigners? For me, it will be Phil Salt, it will be Jacob Bethel, it will be Tim David, and it will be one between Romario Shepherd and Jacob Duffy. For you, what are your 4? Are these the 4? Romario Shepherd, better all-round option than Jacob Duffy? So you go in with a bowler or a all-rounder? Because if you go in with Romario Shepherd, your bowling becomes really problematic at the Chinnaswamy.
I know, but also Romario Shepherd, what he can do lower down the order with the bat. I think that's something that you have to consider at Chinnaswamy. At a ground like that, you need runs on the scoreboard, which is purely the reason why I would take Romario Shepherd here. Apart from that, you've got...
in the bowling unit?
In the bowling unit, you've got...
No, there are other decent ones. I mean, look...
Krunal
is sensationally good. So what is the batting order? My batting order is Virat, Phil Salt, Jacob Bethel, Venkatesh Iyer / Rajat Patidar. Rajat Patidar, Venkatesh Iyer. Patidar 4, Venkatesh Iyer. Tim David, Romario Shepherd, if you say Romario Shepherd. Krunal Pandya. Krunal Pandya and then...
Yeah, exactly. It's very difficult. And you're forgetting about the impact player.
Yeah, that allows a big thing. You know,
Exactly.
it allows
Then you can do the Romario Shepherd.
Shepherd, Jacob Duffy. You can get
Yeah.
Romario Shepherd or Jacob Duffy as an impact player by
Yes.
getting someone out.
Yes.
That's a good call. So, last question for you, Gargi. I mean, when I think of the build-up, you've said how emotional it will be. It will be.
Yeah.
Matches back after a year, crowd back after a year, celebrating the occasion, memorializing the 11, keeping seats aside, no opening ceremony, and then sunrisers come and spoil your party.
You don't want that to happen. Oh, I think RCB fans will have a heartbreak if that happens, which is why RCB need to go out there, make sure Rajat Patidar with his team need to make sure that they're giving RCB fans what they deserve after everything that happened last year. As simple as that.
A winning start.
A winning start.
And maybe a Virat Kohli 70 or 80.
Oh wow, that's the
icing.
That's the icing on
That's
it. That
the-
would be the perfect start to the season. I wouldn't want anything.
Salve for a troubled,
Oh yeah.
city.
And especially after that happened, but the controversy that Virat Kohli got.
Of course.
So
Of course.
it'll be it's a redemption day for everyone involved in RCB.
So you have been our octopus for a while. So what is your take today?
Wow. No, I think RCB is winning.
RCB is winning.
Yeah.
We'll be back. We'll be back at 6:30 from behind the camera. Neil is showing a thumbs up, so he clearly is an RCB fan. There is a lot of RCB support in our organization. Trisha, for example, is a die-hard RCB fan. Has insisted wants to buy the new RCB jersey so much so I had to call up a colleague from Pune and say come on from Puma and say come on send it to her. So we know that franchise has a lot of passion and a lot of emotion. And good to see cricket back in Bengaluru. Make no mistake, sport unites. And while we will never forget, she will never forget, I will never forget, because these people are my own. When to see those messages that, oh, I'm stuck, I can't breathe, those were dangerous messages. And then you kind of like get out somehow, and then you're told, no, I can't get out, I'm trapped. And you feel extremely helpless. What must have gone through the minds of the 11? This is for them. This remembrance is for them. We don't want them to be 11. We want names so that we can respect them. They are not just numbers. They are 11 cricket fans with names who we have lost. Their families have lost a member. We will never forget that. And we will never understand that. So our heart goes out. The sport is back. We'll be back at 6:30 with more. Thank you for watching.